Okay. Hello, everyone. Let me check to make sure my technology is working. I have it up here too. Hi, Stuart. Can you hear me okay? Is this on? This should be on. I can see my mic is going. Hi, Michelle. Hello. Okay, so it's working. Good to know. I'm always worried it's not going to work. I'm going to turn those off. Can you hear me? I want to make sure my AirPods are connecting to everything else. Hello, Holistic Leah. Hello, Doug. Hello, everybody. Everybody is here. We love it. Okay. So, Stuart, Madam Dram, everyone's here. Cool. Okay, I'm going to put my computer away because otherwise it'll kind of distract me from our discussion today. Welcome to the Club Sesh. It is November 13th. We've got the club chat up. We love to see everybody's name popping up here. I am trying to set everything up. Make sure I stay hydrated. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? I wanted to bring my iPhone so you can see. Ooh, wow, that's big and not showing what I want it to show. I wonder if I can. Sorry, everyone. You know what? Let me turn this off for a second while I try to not make you all sick. Just trying to get the desk so we can roll together and I can make this smaller. But I don't know why it's like still showing the edge there. Okay, 1 second. We're going to keep working with this. I have this new tool from Winslow that I'm trying to see. Okay. All right, so we can I see a lot of comments. I'm going to get to them. Doug, I see your comment. I'm just trying to fix this camera so we can roll a joint together. I wonder, what is this and why doesn't it? I don't love this tool because it anyway, I'm sorry everybody. I was trying to futz with this earlier, but then we had to start. But it doesn't want to move exactly how I want it to do, which is annoying, but we're going to see. Okay, so this is smaller. Let's see. You get a little bit of that edge, but I tried my best. That's the best I can do. This is an orange from Winslow, and it's kind of covering me, but I want you all to see what we're smoking. Okay, let me read your comments. Okay. I sent you Doug. Okay. I sent you a DM. Are you still doing the notes? Yes, I've run out of. I bought 150 cards on Etsy. Okay, was not cheap. They had a discount, thankfully. So I bought 150 of them. I have used up 150 cards. That's how many people sent me DMs pre-ordering my cookbook. Which, if you haven't done that, I'm reading your comments. They're great. Hello from Dirty Jersey. That's funny. Welcome everyone. Hello Lee. I saw your kanampia. I'm trying to figure out what happened there. It might have been too much butter or water. Okay, so I have two different strains of flour. This is from Phases. It's a cannabis indica flower called Retrograde. Ooh, let me come here. Let me come there. So you can see that, right? Called Retrograde. And it's an indica. It's for recovery. And it supports recovery and regeneration, restful and calming, equally ideal after a good sweat and a long work day. And the strain is cherry runts, cherry pie and super runts. Why do they do that? They're like retrograde. It's cherry runts. Okay. And then this is pink guava from Sense. So let me do a poll. Where did I put that? It's here. Where did I put that? And then I can do a poll. Start a poll. So we have pink guava or cherry runs. You all tell me what you would like me to smoke today. I will roll that up for you. I pre-ordered. Holistic Leah says that she pre-ordered a physical copy and a digital version, but I know I will lose the card. Oh, I hope not. Don't lose. I mean, it's okay if you lose the card. Doug, LOL, girl, you acknowledged me. That's what matters. I know you probably only have partial feelings in your hands. I know it's true. I haven't. You should see this. Like, you should look at my dog. She's on the couch. Hi, Russ. How's it going? You should see this. Everyone's saying pink guava, and I'm going to agree with everyone. Let's look at this flower. You can't see. Can you see here? It's got some nice buds here. Let me give this a smell. Smells pretty good. Smells pretty amazing. Hookstergram, hello. Wow, we have a good amount of people here this evening, and we are just getting started. You would be making a cocktail of the two strains. I usually like to do one at a time. I just want to try. I'm not that sensitive to different strains, but, you know, I always just kind of feel stoned. But sometimes different, like, you know, sometimes it's like something will make me more hungry. Remember the flower my uncle was growing in Thailand? He gave me like a huge bag of just, you know, a kind of swaggy weed. It was awesome though, homegrown. And it smelled like black pepper. So it's that beta caryophyllene. And I was so hungry when I would smoke his weed. It just made me just ravenous, and which is awesome because I was in Thailand. So buonasera, Alexandra Chapetta, come stai? Tutto a posto? The coldest night so far dropped down to 30 last night. Yuck. Looks like we're smoking a little stinky pinky. What's stinky pinky? What's stinky pinky, JL Sanders? I have my phone kind of in the way of the chat. I need to move this so I can read this better. There we go. Work smarter, not harder, Vanessa. Did everyone watch that Martha Stewart bio? Did anyone else watch it? Or documentary, whatever it's called? It was so good. She's hilarious. She's a riot. The way that she talks about her infidelity versus her husband's infidelity. I understand what she's saying, you know? She like was unfaithful to her husband in like the first 6 months after they got married, which is usually kind of like this, you kind of go, I don't know about other people, but you go into this shock where you're like, oh shit, I'm actually married. I did it. And you kind of get to know the person even more, especially during her time. You know, it wasn't like now where you know, like people really kind of jumped into marriages. Anyway, she met some guy in a church in like a Duomo, big cathedral in I don't remember where, Florence or somewhere in Italy, and they made out. I was like, she's like, it was a spiritual moment. Sure it was, Martha. Love her. She's the best. So, let me see. Oh my, 71 here in Florida right now, says Michelle. Oh my God, that sounds great. Martha's a force, says Eddie. Totally. Michelle, you haven't heard of the Martha documentary? I don't remember what it's on. Is it on Netflix? Might be on like Netflix or Hulu. I don't remember. But it's like called Martha. And Martha can roll a joint. She can. I saw that. I posted that to my stories that she knows how to roll a joint. Oh, wow. Alexandra. It's Chiappetta, no? Wouldn't that be how you would pronounce that? You're from close to Cosenza. My family lives in Pianecrati. Do you know where that is? Have you ever been to Pianecrati? Sorry, everybody who's not Italian right now and from this one province of Italy in the south of Italy. You know the boot? So the boot of Italy, Calabria is the toe of the boot. And that is where my father's family is from, Calabria. I saw your post, but it cut off right before she gave her answer. Yes, she, Scott, she does know how to roll a joint. She was critiquing these people who were smoking a joint in an ice cream truck. She said that they rolled sloppy. I was like, I bet she has, she probably rolls old school, but she's particular about it. I love it. Respect. You need to link up with Snoop Dogg. Would definitely help get the word out. I know. Trust me, I've tried. I mean, my literary agent works with Martha. We tried. It's not so easy. Because they're like, I don't blame them. They're like, who's this chick? I don't know who she is. I'm not going to get behind her. I'm reading all of these comments, and I'm rolling this joint. Sorry, I don't know if you saw me do that, but there we go. It's not like a fat cone, but that's kind of this is how I like them. Different flour I roll better. When it's really dry, it's hard for me to roll a joint like this. This is really nice flour. Usually I buy like a half ounce of kind of so-so flour, and then I buy a couple of eighths of really nice flour. But shit's expensive. It's expensive. Okay, so we're still talking Italy. Alexandra is in the Bay Area. You're getting your citizenship. Do you guys know that? Any Italians on here, Italian Americans who don't know that, you can get your citizenship through your I think it's like even great-great-great-grandparents. It goes back pretty far. But you have to show it all, right? So you'd have to show, depending how far back you go. Say you just go to your grandparents. You have to show your grandparents' birth certificate in Italy, their marriage certificate if they've ever been divorced, their divorce certificate, their death certificate if they've died. Then you have to do that for your parents. Then you have to do that for yourself. And then anything that's in English, you have to pay a translator who's approved by the consulate, whichever consulate you go to. And different consulates are more efficient for getting this done. You pay them to translate it, then they send it to the comune in Italy, which is kind of like Italy's local government, and they go through and they approve it. So I have my EU passport through that. I don't remember what it's called. It's not juris sanguinis. It's let me see what it's called. Jure sanguinis. And it's citizenship by descent. So you can do that for Italian citizenship, okay? Alexandra, you were the one who was helping me with the Facebook meta drama saga, correct? That was very stressful. I'm used to them attacking my cannabis content. Okay, we've got this nice little joint here. I'm used to them, attacking my weed shit and that getting taken down, but oh no, god damn it. We just dropped that flower on the fucking floor. Sorry, everybody. Just want to pick that up. The dog doesn't eat. She's not real interested in eating weed, but just in case. Okay, so Alexandra, you probably tried to get an appointment in San Francisco, and that's got to be the worst consulate I've dealt with. We gave up on the San Francisco consulate pretty quickly because they don't return your phone calls. They don't, they don't do any of that. It's okay. I saved it, you guys. I still have it. It's fine. I'll smoke weed that fell on the floor. I mopped the other day. It's clean. But yeah, getting your Italian citizenship takes a minute. It's kind of a pain in the ass. We ended up going through Canada, the Canadian consulate, because my family's Canadian as well, and that proved to be a little bit easier than going through the American consulates. But I think that partially has to do with the fact there are a lot of Italians immigrated to Canada as well, specifically Toronto. We went through Edmonton. So anyway, it's a real pain in the ass. Good. Have all of your paperwork ready to go. Do you know what I mean? They are no bullshit. They're not going to be nice to you. They're not going to give you any kind of leeway. I've had a little bit more luck with Los Angeles. And we went up to Sacramento to get everything I think for some reason we had to go up to Sacramento. I did this in my 20s. I did this my senior year at Berkeley. I said to my mom, let's get our citizenship. I want to go to Italy. I want to go and spend time there and not have to worry about it. Let's get our citizenship. And it's easier to go through your father, obviously, because, the patriarchy. Anyway, so if that is a little bit of help, it sucks, but it's true. So anyway, let me light this up. Hi, Chicano Juarez. Welcome. Ochanamu, don't worry. Lamont Jackson. I'm working on the POS at Rise in Orange, Connecticut. I can't bring the volume up, but I can watch. I'll catch the reply. I hope my question was answered. What is your... okay, so I got some questions from Instagram, actually. Let me take this down and plug this in. So I had some questions before we jump into our live today, which we're going to cover legal THC cocktails. We're going to cover Florida. I know Michelle has a lot to say about what happened in Florida. And I have some insight actually from a cannabis lawyer on Twitter who had strong feelings about Florida legalization. We're going to talk about Dallas decriminalization, and then we're going to talk Turkey. So welcome to the Club Sesh. This is how we light up. We're smoking. This tastes delicious. Fuck yeah, pink guava. I think there's still one bud on the floor, but I'll get it in a second. From Open Your Senses, senseground.com. Very cool. Hi, Lamont. So Lamont is coming from Instagram. I have a broadcast channel on Instagram called No Narcs. If you're not in my No Narcs broadcast channel, you should hop in there. And I posted to it some questions from people, okay? So here, let me jump to your question, Lamont. And you wanted to know What is my preferred input for infused simple syrup? So simple syrup, from my understanding, THC is fat soluble, it's kind of floats in alcohol. You can strip it from the plant in alcohol, and then glycerin. You can use glycerin. I'm not a fan of glycerin. It's not my solvent of choice. So if I were doing a simple syrup, I would make a tincture if I was starting with flour. If I was starting with a concentrate, like, my concern with simple syrup is that it sticks to the outside of the jar that it's in, whatever it's in, and it's going to float to the top, the cannabinoids, rather than stay homogenized throughout the liquid. I'm assuming the theory is, like, if you put enough sugar in it, that will help to keep it distributed throughout the simple syrup. But yeah, I just think it's not the best, it's not the most effective way of getting stoned. I like a THC sugar, like a weed sugar. And in that case, you just take a tincture, and you can make a tincture out of flour. You could take decarbed hash and just shake it up in some alcohol to try and get it to dissolve into a high proof alcohol. The higher the proof that you're using for a tincture, the better. Because again, THC and cannabinoids are hydrophobic. They don't like water. So it's almost like, yeah, it's not going to, like, if you look at tinctures, they kind of separate. And even when people are like, oh, this is water soluble, like, we had all sorts of nano molecule water soluble tinctures and whatever. They always separate. They always would, eventually there would be some separation. So it's not like the most effective way of doing things. So again, with I was talking about the cannabis sugar, and I have a sugar recipe in the cookbook. So there you would take a tincture, and you would put less tincture into sugar so that it doesn't dissolve the sugar, and you can spread it throughout the sugar, and then you just dry it out in the oven at a low temperature, low enough that you're not melting the sugar, but hot enough that you're evaporating the alcohol and water, depending on the proof that you used for your tincture. For the best tincture, if you can get like pure ethanol, then you're going to extract most of the THC from the flower. So the higher the proof, the more extraction you get. And this is talking flower. So as far as with concentrates, you can do the same thing. Take a high proof alcohol, dissolve your decarbed concentrate, whatever it is, into the alcohol, and then put that into a simple syrup. Put that with sugar and some more water. And then if you're trying to boil off that alcohol, you'll have to add some more water. Anyway, can you add water to THC sugar? Yeah, but then you still have that same issue. It's almost like, why make THC sugar if you're going to add water to it, right? Because the whole point of making the sugar is that you're evaporating out any moisture so that you can then take that sugar, you can bake with it, you could throw it into a cup of coffee, whatever it is. And in a nice cup of coffee, say you have some milk in there, then you don't have to worry about the THC sticking to the sides of the glass or whatever vessel it's in. That's called crashing out. That's what the lab has told me. Okay, I didn't come up with that term. It's a term that they use in cannabis labs, and I think it must be a chemistry term. Let me look. Crashing out chemistry. Crash out to be rapid precipitation or crystallization of a substance from a solution. Chemical separations, where it is desirable to isolate. Okay. What does crashing out? No, that's sleeping. Interesting. You add another solvent which your product is not soluble in. Exactly. Okay. Cold crashing. Interesting. Okay, so wow, this is a lot of comments. 1 second. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everyone. Cold crashing, kind of like beer. I don't know the beer process, Doug. If you want to fill us in on what that means, Lamont. Yep, you only need a small amount. Remember, it's concentrated. Wait, I'm confused what you're saying, Lamont. You only need a small amount. Oh wait, here we go. Hey Eddie, I used FICO, so full extract cannabis oil works fantastically. Yes, so it's already decarbed, which is nice with that. For my simple syrup, that is. Okay, so I mean, like I said, the only thing I would be worried about is that crashing out, but I have a feeling if you put enough sugar, so say instead of doing a 2-to-1 simple syrup where you've got 2 parts water to 1 part sugar, you up the amount of sugar, so it's going to help to keep the FICO, the full extract cannabis oil, and the cannabinoids suspended in that syrup. Does that make sense? Like it puts more weight to it, and it will. That's what I would. That's what I would do. Okay. I've read people putting weed butter in coffee. Why the fuck would you put butter in coffee? It makes me feel bloated just thinking about it. They do that, Michelle. You're so funny. They do that. What was that called? Remember, that was all the craze. Everyone was putting coconut oil in their coffee. We're so funny. We always get into these little like, oh my God, you've got to try this. Bulletproof coffee. Remember? Do y'all remember? Everyone was putting butter in their coffee. I don't remember what it was about. So, sorry, connection dropped. My dad was stationed at San Vito Normani Air Station during the Vietnam War. That's awesome, Scott. Great story. Michelle says that's disgusting. She's not for bulletproof. That's okay. I think it was a keto thing. Occult 45, you put it in tea. You put weed butter into tea? Interesting. Eddie Murray, this is like wild that there are 3 people plus Vanessa that are connected to this hyper specific part of Italy. I know. Isn't that funny? Lamont, you're welcome. I hope that answered it sufficiently. I just love how everyone cooks with cannabis and has found, like, haven't had a lot of information on how to do it, right? It's all kind of been the same stuff regurgitated over and over again, and we all find, every edible maker I speak to has an interesting way of infusing and cooking with cannabis. It's just really a plant that was meant to be cooked with. Ocha Nomu, a pinch of salt in coffee is good too. Yes, a pinch of salt in anything. Like if you ever make lemonade and you accidentally get like some pith in it, so it's bitter, if you add a pinch of salt, it helps to decrease that bitterness. Caitlin Lamoureux, I wrote your card last night. I'm just waiting to get stamps. So I also had to order like 100 and like something stamps, 150 stamps. So anyway, the whole point of doing this is so that the book, like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm at a loss because I'm buying cards and I'm buying stamps and stuff. But the whole point is so that the book will get onto a bestseller list, and then more people will hear about it, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, actually, let me drop the book for you guys in case you don't know about my cookbook. I'm going to put this right in here. I'm sure you all do, but just in case, yes, we're trying to get it to somewhere awesome. Okay, so coconut oil and tea. Yeah, if anyone ever goes to Calabria or goes to, I know the south of Italy pretty well, so you can always message me on the club. All right, so let me read some more of these questions from the No Narcs broadcast channel, okay? So, from Attack of the Shaft, do you use indica, sativa, or hybrids, or just whatever is available? I'm not, like, what do I smoke? I smoke everything. I'm not too picky about that. I like indicas. As far as cooking goes, I follow my nose on that. I'm like, I usually don't cook with like a gassy strain or um, anything that taste wise doesn't sound appealing, because it's like you're cooking with an herb. So those flavors, you're going to pick up those terpenes in the food. Something with more lemon or floral or fruity, anything like that is going to work better with most recipes. And then, like, if you have something like garlic breath or something like that, you can use that for more savory recipes. Again, it's not, you don't have to be too precious about it, but that's really how I look at strains. You rock, Vanessa. Thanks, Lamont. That makes me feel good. Scott Stone, I love to infuse coconut oil and blending with honey. Add that to my coffee. I have that recipe in my cookbook. I love doing that. My auntie loves to do that. And my uncle is a beekeeper, so he had a bunch of crystallized honey. And what you can do with crystallized honey is you can whip it. And then when you whip it, you can add that infused coconut oil into your honey. So good, like on a piece of toast. Yum. Okay, Michelle loves her some RSO honey. Okay, so we answered that from Attack of the Shaft. Nana Small, what's the best way to decarb and infuse without the can of flavor? I would say the best way to infuse without getting too much cannabis flavor is to use a concentrate. So to use a concentrate like hash, to use a concentrate like, let me end this poll. Hash, obviously distillate won't have any kind of flavor really, and because they take all of that out, you're distilling it. You can use rosin, and in the cookbook I have a chart that tells you for each concentrate, does this need to be decarbed or does it not need to be decarbed? So that's really helpful. And like the general potency of them. So that's the best way. And then for decarbing, I like to decarb in the oven, but as far as if you want to really preserve those terpenes and you want to prevent any kind of degradation of THC to CBN, the most gentle way to decarb is to use a sous vide. It's just too much of a pain in the ass for me. I don't do that. I make too many edibles to do it that way. So I use an oven. For flour, I take parchment paper and I wrap up the flour in the parchment paper, and then I roll it up in those Stasher, specifically that brand, Stasher oven safe bags, silicone bags. Sorry. Oh my God, Stuart, I made so many graphs. My publisher, when I first sent the manuscript, was like, okay, do we need to cite where these graphs are from? I was like, bro, that's the whole point of the book. I made these graphs. They're based off of my data. That's what I've been fucking doing for the last year, is just like what happens when we infuse butter, or when we put weed in butter. What happens when we put it into alcohol, different proofs, different temperatures, and different oils, and into milk. It's like I see all these people. I remember, I don't want to say people copy me, because I think there's just this thing with like a collective consciousness of what's happening. I did like a latte thing, and then I see people making them, but they don't talk about the fact that you're not going to get a full extraction when you infuse milk. And then what do you do with that leftover flour that now has milk in it? I've got ideas for you, so don't worry. It's all in the book. Okay, so one more. Let's keep going with these questions because they're great. So there's lots of ways to decarb. You can join the Edibles Club if you haven't yet. I give decarb advice all day long. Frigid, PHRI, frigid? Oh, that's funny. Frigid. Does tolerance to flower affect tolerance to edibles? That's a great question. I'm going to answering this now live. Okay. Does tolerance to flower affect tolerance to edibles? I'll be honest, I don't know. I'm going to tell you my thoughts, what I think. When we smoke, it goes through our lungs, right? It's hitting our brain pretty quickly. It's delta 9 THC predominantly. When we eat it, it goes, some of it sublingually will get into our bloodstream, but then most of it goes into our stomach and then through our liver, into our intestine, into our liver, and our liver metabolizes it. So it's reaching different cannabinoid receptors than when we smoke. And it's also converting it from delta 9 THC to 11 hydroxy THC, which feels very different from one another. So basically from what I understand is people who can smoke a lot, like look at Seth Rogen. We can all agree he could smoke a lot. He publicly has said he doesn't like edibles. He doesn't really fuck with edibles. And I know a lot of people like that who can smoke a lot, smoke anyone under a bus, but they cannot touch an edible. So, I think it's just a different high. So it's a different tolerance. And it's more difficult to titrate those effects because edibles take so much longer to hit you than when you smoke. Like if I'm too stoned right now, I can just stop smoking, right? But if I eat an edible, I'm in for it, okay? Where am I getting these questions? Eddie, I'm getting these questions from my Instagram. I have a channel on Instagram called No Narcs, and I asked people to send me their edible questions, and I told them that I would answer their questions live. Okay, is everyone okay with me answering these questions? Let me know. Let me know. Where'd my lighter go? Sometimes I put it in my lap. Uh-oh. Oh no. I lost my lighter. I just had it though. Oh, it's right in front of me. Stoner. Okay, so then we have Becca Belicious. Do you ever make edibles with concentrates decarb the same way? Becca Belicious, you need to join the Edibles Club, and I hope you're here. I don't know if you are. Ochinomu, I'm not sure if I ever really noticed a huge difference between the high, but the only time I've ever greened out is from a brownie that I should have not eaten all of. Yeah, a brownie will get you. Hi, Hazel Suarez. Welcome to the live. Glad you could make it. I definitely feel a difference between an edible high and a smoking high. Okay, so Becca Belicious, you could 100% make edibles from concentrates. That was like my catalyst to becoming an edible maker. I keep bringing up the book, but whatever. That story is in my book, and it started with cold water hash, and that is how you can control the dose more consistently. The flavor, the green flavor isn't so pronounced because you're taking out that plant matter. You're concentrating the cannabinoids, which is what we're really trying to get to. We're trying to get to those trichomes. We don't want the rest of the plant, right? We don't really want it. Some people will say that you do, but anyway. And you can... that's how I had consistent doses for my caramels, was because I was using hash. because it's concentrated. It's not going to be quite as variable, you know. So a bonbon sighting. Did you guys see her? She's right there. Where? Here. She's here behind me. She wasn't feeling so hot today. How you feeling, Bonbon? You okay? Oh, poor baby. Anyway. Dank 41 NC. I'm an everyday toker, but edibles really fuck me up. That's a different and way longer high. So true. Yeah, Michelle, Bonbon is allowed to do whatever the fuck she wants to do. She is spoiled. Her stomach was upset today. I took her to the pet store. And I think we overdid it with treats. She had this like dried mussel that they had. I was like, oh, that'll be good. And I think maybe it was not so good for her. So she didn't throw up or anything. She kind of was like dry. She almost did last night. And then today she's just kind of she's been eating, she's drinking, but she's not her normal rambunctious self. So, oh, I need to give her a Greek yogurt. Okay, let me go get some. She'll love that. She loves dairy. She's a dairy girl. Okay, so let me read some more of these. I think that answered. Oh wait, how is the decarboxylation? She was asking about decarboxylation. Is it decarb the same way? It's decarbed a little differently. Concentrates, like, I'll make sure it's 0% fat plain. I hear you, Michelle. Let me write it down. I know you're like the dog expert. I picked up on that. 0% plain. Fat plain. Yolks. Got it. Okay, so when you're decarbing, I have an article on and I want to put this here too. I want to send this to her too. I have an article on Food 52 for decarbing carb hash. It's so funny that they have those. It's a beginner's guide to cooking with keef and hash. But if you want like the most up-to-date stuff, you should join the Edibles Club. You can just ask me. All right, Scott, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out. We love it. And, come back next time. I'm here every Wednesday. So, yeah. So with other concentrates, like say you were to decarb live rosin, those usually come in a glass container. And I was telling Michelle today, Michelle, you have a temple ball. Those little, when they have it like a little ball, it's temple ball or just hash. It'll come in those glass containers, and those glass containers are usually oven safe at a low enough temperature. We're decarbing at 220 Fahrenheit tops for concentrate, and then I just put a little bit of tinfoil on the top of them, and I put it on a sheet pan, and I put it in. I have my toaster oven because I don't want to heat up my whole house. And oh, sorry, I didn't see this question. Alexandra Chiapetta, sorry. Oh, wait. Why is this? It's giving me a warning. Warning for what? Uh-oh. What's wrong, Bonbon? Warning. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this warning. Bonbon, stop barking, please. 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to grab my dog. Bonbon, what's up? You see a coyote? Okay, come here. Okay. Sometimes she sees. Okay, infused dog treats. I would love that. I just want to make sure we're still streaming. It says we're still streaming here. Warning, the stream's current bit rate is lower than open widget. We use a stream bitrate of 6800. I don't know how to change that though. 6800. Okay. Did that do anything? Are you guys still there? Okay. So, I haven't made dog treats before, but yes, I want to make some for Bonbon. I think she would like a little CBD dog treat. Huh, Bonbon? How you feeling? Huh? Were you barking? Was there someone to bark at? Okay, good. I just had like this warning. Great. Now my studio is saying excellent. So I just, look at me. I'm so techie. I just increased the bit rate. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't even know. I'm almost up to 50 watchers. Really? That's wild. Thanks, Stuart. That's so cool. Okay, Bonbon wants to go. Say bye. Okay. Don't bark. Let's keep reading. That's good she's leaving because I don't like to smoke like right in her face. My little stoner dog. She's not. She gives me the side eye sometimes if I'm smoking. So cute. Okay. So we've got more questions to answer here. Wow. E-Navy. As a heavy smoker, what snackable edibles can you make for a long day? I really hope you pre-ordered my book. I'm answering this now on YouTube. Pre-order my cookbook. I've got snacks for you. I have a whole section called micro snacks, and it's all about microdosing them, because when you snack, no one, you know, when they put the serving size on something and you're like, how many of these crackers can I eat? And you can only eat like 5 of them. That is, a lie. No one eats 5 crackers in a serving. So you just want to think about how much of something you're going to eat. This person's a heavy smoker, but I don't know if they're necessarily a heavy edible eater. Maybe they're trying to tell me they have a high tolerance, but it's just better to have it so, like, if you have a party mix, say like you do like a Chex Mix. Give me some ideas here. Hi, Charles. Welcome to the club sesh. We have a lot of new people here. Hope you're enjoying it. It's Wednesdays. We do it Wednesdays at 4:20 Pacific. I'm answering questions from Instagram, okay? I would do like a party mix. You could do a trail mix. I also have a trail mix recipe or a granola recipe in my cookbook. Things like that. Chips, snackable things like crackers. I have a firecracker recipe in my cookbook. And firecracker, not like the edible. Firecracker, like the southern cracker where you cover it with butter and spices and stuff, and then you bake it in the oven and it gets fucking delicious. Things like that. Popcorn. You can even do, if you want to be healthy, you could do an infused hummus. Perfect. There's so much olive oil in hummus. That, make a nice creamy hummus, and then every time you go, you get some vegetables, and it's good for you. And cannabis is really good for your intestinal health. So, especially the roots. Not that we have like access to the roots of the plant, but if you do, I've had that in chicken soup. Anyway, okay. Bangers and trees. How accurate can product potency get for each individual edible? That's a great question. I'm just responding to these people, telling them that I'm answering them now. Hi, D Money Greens. Okay, so how accurate can you get? It's, unless you're testing every single one, there's no way to know for sure. There's always going to be slight variability from one edible to the next, right? With my caramels, I try to minimize that by having molds, so I know I'm trying to, and filling those molds to the same level. And a lot of times people correlate small batch with higher quality, but actually when you're trying to create a consistent product, it's easier to do that in larger batches with like more machinery and things like that. It's small batch is more prone to variability, and that's what makes it beautiful in a lot of ways. But for edibles, you don't really want it. Wait, where am I live? This is amazing. Oh, you mean on Instagram? Edgar Sanchez, have you spoken about the endocannabinoid system? I speak about it in the cookbook. We talked about it kind of peripherally when I talked about cannabinoid receptors when we eat edibles versus when we smoke. But no, we have an endocannabinoid system. We make our own endocannabinoids. One of the most famous ones being anandamide, or I think it's anandamide. I think it's anandamide. Anyway, that's called the bliss molecule. You also find it in really small amounts in chocolate, which is why, it's like chocolate. You could say it like helps you feel blissful. Cannabis works on the phytocannabinoids, right? There's endocannabinoids and there's phytocannabinoids, and phytocannabinoids are from plants. And phytocannabinoids in cannabis, like THC and CBD, they also work on our endocannabinoid system, on our receptors. We have CB1 receptors and we have CB2 receptors. Charles D, YouTube as well. Yes, I'm live on YouTube. I'm answering live on Instagram. I talk more about the endocannabinoid system in my cookbook, How to Eat Weed and Have a Good Time. If you haven't pre-ordered yet, I highly recommend that you do. Hi, Bonbon. Now she wants to bug me. She's like, hey, I'm awake. It's time to take me somewhere. We're not going today, sweetheart. I'm sorry. We went for a walk earlier. Yes, and you ate your dinner already. She always loves to play with me right at this time. Okay, let me answer some more of these questions. We have... Okay, so... we did Bangers and Trees. Mr. Z Diz. Do you have gluten-free edible recipes? I'm trying to think if we have any gluten-free ones that are in the club. I mean, deviled eggs are gluten-free. If you don't know, because I don't know if Worcestershire sauce is gluten-free. You have to be really careful with gluten because it's in things like soy sauce and stuff you wouldn't think. There are definitely gluten-free recipes in the cookbook. I didn't label them. Like, this is gluten-free, this is vegan, this is that, But, like, hummus is gluten-free. I'm sure the popcorn, the candies, things like that would be gluten-free. But, yes, you can make edibles gluten-free super easily because a lot of things are just naturally gluten-free. Okay. And let me answer another one. Ike Mos... Let me read this. Okay. Ike Mosa Barodny. I hope I said that correctly. I probably did not, so I'm sorry. Why do people get so butthurt over cannabis, specifically the smell? You know what? I really don't know. Some people just really, they don't like the smell of weed. I think it's because they just associate it with, you know, whatever, reefer madness, all that bullshit. It still has a bad reputation. As whenever I leave kind of like my bubble of California, I go somewhere more conservative, I always realize like how much cannabis is still, it still has the stigma. So it's interesting, and the smell is really a part of it. And it's, I like to visit my aunt and uncle because they're like, we love the smell, and I'm like, great. Makes me feel more accepted. Holistic Leah, there have been a bunch of recipes without gluten, and I've subbed out ingredients before. Good. The infusions are gluten-free, so that's what matters. Exactly. So, like, all of the infusions are going to be gluten-free, and then you can just cook with it and it really can go in anything. People are like, oh, what can you put it in? I'm like, seriously, like, maybe not a meringue, because you don't want any kind of fat, but I haven't tried it. Like, I might be able to do that. So with a tincture. So, you know, maybe we should do a pavlova with, and infuse it and see if it works. Stephanie Campbell loves the way it smells when you make butter. Yes, I agree. I think it smells delicious, especially if you have like a really beautiful smelling strain, you know, and then you put it with food and you're like, yeah, this is meant to be cooked with. What do vegetarians eat at Thanksgiving? Do you remember like turduckens? What, isn't there like some sort of vegetarian option, like a tofurkey? That's what it was, tofurkey. I don't know. Okay, I need to go through these more quickly because I'm taking too long. Adam likes a lot. How much does the actual strain get considered in terms of flavor? I think about it a lot. I mean, I'm not going to not cook with a strain because of, you know, like, oh, it's too gassy, but, you know, definitely. Like, I told my manufacturer, I was like, I want to use a different strain for marigold. I want to have something more, you know, floral or fruity. And so now I'm talking with different growers about using specific strains for batches of marigold sweets, because it does affect the flavor. As far as affecting the high, that's a whole other can of worms that a lot of people like to debate, and you know, we can have that conversation and have people on to discuss it another day. Lax Daddy 41, can you infuse maple syrup? So kind of like simple syrup. It's not soluble in like water, liquids, things like that, but you can kind of get away with it. But I would just put it in butter. I'd infuse a butter, real potent, and then I would put a little bit of butter into my maple syrup. And I'm Canadian, so, you know, maple syrup is expensive. You got to stretch it a little bit. What you could do potentially is infuse it with a tincture into maple syrup and then heat your maple syrup to make a maple butter, right? Like a maple cream, which is where you're making a fondant. This is a candy confectionery thing. You heat any kind of sugar up to what is it, 240 Fahrenheit, and then you drop it to 110 or like 115, and then you whip it. And what that does is it cooks like a certain amount of the water out of the syrup, and then you're cooling it so it kind of sets together. And then when you go to whip it, it breaks up the, you know, like it breaks it up and it aerates it. Anyway, that's how I do the peanut butter creams for like mass manufacturing, instead of using powdered sugar, which is like what most home recipes call for like a Reese's peanut butter cup. I make a fondant out of sugar and honey and heat it up and then cool it down and then whip it, and then that's what I use to sweeten the peanut butter, so it helps to create the peanut. Anyway, I'm talking candy now. I'm sorry, that's boring. Okay, Steph loves you 78. Can I repurpose sugar I overbaked? Can I turn it into toffee? Yeah, of course. You can turn it into caramel. You can turn it into toffee. If you're turning it into toffee, you're going to be adding butter to it. If you're going to turn it into caramel, you would add cream and butter to it. You just want to heat it up until it's like an amber color. And then, and you don't even have to do that. You could just, if you're making caramel, you could just add the cream and the sugar and then heat that up to 256 to between 256 and 260, depending on the humidity wherever you're making candy. So, Edgar Sanchez. I know Bon is on the floor, or she's chewing on a hoof. Any plans to visit Colorado? Yes, my niece is graduating soon, so I'd like to go visit her. Stephanie, don't worry. You melted your sugar. Oh, when you went to make cannabis sugar, you heated it up too high. Hi, Bon. You can totally you can melt that down and just turn it into, I would just turn it into a caramel. That's what I would do. And then, if you have any questions about that, just let me know. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You're here from Instagram. That's so cool. Steph loves you, 78. That's her handle. Dadaism 101. Different experience isolate versus full spectrum due to the entourage effect. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that sensitive. Distillate feels the same to me as live rosin, but I think that people like to, not that there's anything wrong to me than with a solvent, but the industry, the market, people really like to know that an edible is made with solventless concentrate. And yeah, people swear by the entourage effect. The entourage effect is, so you can, distillate distills THC or CBD. It distills those cannabinoids and it gets rid of the terpenes. It gets rid of all of the other flavonoids and plant matter. And you just have that oil, that distillate. Full spectrum concentrates like live rosin, they have the terpenes, all of the other compounds in cannabis that are thought to contribute to the high. I look at it more for flavor. I know people swear by it and they only use these kind of strains and for edibles and I don't know, just depends on who you ask, basically. Pancakes and bacon. Someone said there would be free hugs for everyone in here who ordered a cookbook. Yes. When I'm out and I am marketing the cookbook and it's actually for sale, I will totally, if you were like, hey, I was part of your club, we hung out live, I'll give you a hug. Yeah, I give good hugs, so I've been told. Susie Wall, what is your favorite edible? I mean, obviously, other than marigold sweets, man, we've made so many good edibles on the club. It's like the crepes that we did, those savory crepes were ridiculous. The gnocchi, I have them in my freezer. The agnolotti, I don't know. I love edibles, all of them. Sorry, that's not a real answer, but marigold sweets, my chocolates. Hi, David Sepulveda. Welcome to the live stream. Hi, Jen. Welcome. We're just hanging out. So glad to see you live after Instagram Bologna. Oh my God, that was so funny. It was really funny. Let's be real. It was funny. But all I have to say is, you see that the popcorn's back up? Do you see? That reel is back up? Okay, that's all I gotta say. Try to shut me up. No, you can't shut me up. Don't try to bully me. Okay. Dexter H210, no question, just if you can do an eggplant parmesan recipe one day. That is so cute. Totally. That is so funny. Dexter, I will make that happen for you. No problem. Boom. How would you infuse coffee? Like, you mean the actual coffee? Again, we're talking about the solubility. Someone has done it, like the water soluble. I've seen the Keurig pods, THC Keurig pods. So they've found a way to make it like soluble and go through that. But at home, how would I infuse it? No, we don't need to do all that. No, we don't need to do that, Bob Bun. That's enough. She thinks she's so tough. There's other dogs barking. There must be a coyote. There was a massive coyote outside. Anyway, I would infuse a milk. That's what I would do. Or I would make a THC sugar, where you make a tincture and then you coat sugar with it and dry it out in the oven. I know people want eggplant parmesan. You've got to make it. Doctor, we're almost done with these questions, and then we're going to go back into our topics. Dr. Cannabis, what's your preferred input type when making infused simple syrup? We already answered this. Sorry. George, yes. Can I make an extraction with 151 proof rum? How is that done? Yes, you can make an extraction with 151 proof rum. In the cookbook, I give different extraction rates based on the proof of alcohol that was used. So you won't get a full extraction with 151, but it'll be pretty good. So there's different ways to do that. Some people do that in the freezer. You're not going to extract as much when you do a freezer. When you do put your alcohol in the freezer and you extract in the freezer, you'll extract more at room temperature. And I would only do that for 15 minutes. It doesn't really do much after that. And how do I know? Because I tested it for a month. I took every day. Took lab, so. And you can use Everclear, obviously. Everclear is going to be more effective, and you're not going to have any other flavors. And then you can just take that Everclear and you could add it to your rum if you're wanting to add it to rum for some reason. Toujours Lulu, who is Lindsay. Do you use sativa or indica in your marigold sweets chocolates? I use whatever strain smells the best. So sometimes, usually they're all kind of hybrids. Honey Book 1, falafels. That's all it says, is just falafels. So I think that's her way of telling me she wants me to make infused falafels, and I can get behind that. Honey Book 1, we can make infused waffles. K Barcelona, is there a way to infuse salt? That's a great question. Yes, you can infuse it like sugar. Let me tell her answering now. You can infuse it like sugar, where you make a tincture and then you have more salt than tincture. So you're not dissolving the salt in tincture. You're just distributing that tincture evenly throughout the salt. And then you put it in the oven and you dehydrate it and you stir it while you're baking it, and you're evaporating the liquid from the tincture, and the resin from your tincture will just kind of shellac to the salt crystals. Now the reason I would say, what happened to the stream? The reason, Jen Johnson, what's the best way to accurately know how to calculate dosing making edibles? I wing it and know they are always way heavy. Okay, so Jen, I use a milligram scale. Let me send you this. I have this. I have a list for edible makers. Okay, it includes my book, but let me send this list. So I use a scale, milligram scale, and you can even just get a jewelry scale. I think I have that in there too. So like a less expensive one than what I have. I have like a scientific one. I put a KitchenAid in here, but I would even, let me see if I have a jewelry scale I can add to this. Let me add a jewelry scale. So, jewelry scale. Yeah, because these are like only... I'm trying to see which one's the best. Gem Pro 100. This one's pretty cheap, so let's do that. I'm gonna save that. Okay. Manage products. We don't want that to be the cover. There we go. All right, there we go. Oh, house balance with a windshield. Oh, that's cool. Let me look at that one. Oh, house balance with a windshield. Oh yeah, those are good too. They have those at the lab. Those are very expensive. I was trying to give some that are a little bit less expensive, but I could add that to the I'll add that to the windshield. Oh wow, that's like, no, that's too expensive, man. I won't add that. That's too expensive for people. Okay. You're probably properly stoned now, aren't you? Listen. It's a club sesh. What do you want from me? Okay? All right, let's get into it. I think that answered everybody's questions. Oh, I was going to say, K Barcelona, if you're still here. I don't know if you're here. Anyway, what I wanted to say was, when you infuse a salt, how much salt do you use in a recipe, right? We don't use that much salt in our recipes, hopefully, unless you got a salt problem. So the reason that sugar is more often infused than salt is because we use more sugar in a recipe. So you don't have to make it, like, it's hard to make that tincture potent enough so that because then it's then getting spread out in the salt. Does that make sense? And if you're only using a quarter or a half a teaspoon of salt, or maybe a teaspoon of salt, that teaspoon of salt has to be potent enough to dose the entire batch. So it's just one thing to take into consideration why, like, you know, maybe people, you don't see too much THC salt. It's not to say it's a bad idea. You could just like microdose a little bit, just a little bit, you know? Anyway, Doug Suber. Yes, they are amazing. They're super expensive. So for home edible makers, I think just like a jewelry scale is totally sufficient. And, you know, just, all right. All right, let's hop into our club browser sesh. We're here in this YouTube. Hi, my tiny dog. And let me get my... Hi, sweet girl. Can you go away? I don't have any snacks for you. I don't want this. Oh no. Weird did it go? Hi, Bonbon. This is here. All right, so I wanted to look at some of these topics here today. Come here.
In Southern California, you probably know by now that cannabis is a huge industry in the state.
Can you guys hear that? Why can't I hear it? Let me make sure you all can hear it. Browser, dusk.
I think so. And
There we go.
now it's not just taking a gummy or smoking that can get people high. On your sides, Christine Lazar is here to explain. Please explain.
I did not do a taste test, ladies.
Oh, come
but
on.
No, I'm a professional person.
I find this interesting, though, because other states have not necessarily legalized the gummies and smoking, but they have legalized what we're talking about now.
Yes, because you can get some of THC out of hemp.
Yeah.
But here in California, that's
Right.
actually illegal because the governor did not want it sold outside of the dispensaries because
Interesting.
then kids could get their hands on it. So
No. He didn't want it sold outside of dispensaries because it's not regulated. They're not paying taxes. There's no lab testing being done on it. He wants the industry to be regulated, which is totally fair.
But we do have
Hi.
THC cocktails here, and we went and visited a lounge, and it was like
Oh my God,
I mean,
so
it was
naughty.
awesome. It was like any type of bar, but it was a different type of high, I guess you'd say, right? Well, having a drink is taking on a whole new meaning. A growing number of Americans are swapping out their alcoholic beverages for a different kind of buzz.
Wow.
Inside the Artistry Studio
Should I
Lounge
try one?
dispensary in Los Angeles, you'll find what looks like a typical bar, but you won't find any alcohol here. All the colorful cocktails come with a shot of cannabis containing THC.
Do you taste it?
Hi,
Is
Steve.
the lounge manager and says customers control their own dose and can enjoy
Sorry.
cannabis in a social
Maybe I
setting.
should have a drink.
You can take a couple of sips, relax, see how you feel, and then go from there. I tell people it's almost like you can control your high.
These type
I
of
don't know
bars
about
are
that.
popping up in more states where recreational marijuana is legal. And across the country, you can find canned beverages with THC at select retailers.
Hi.
They provide a similar high
D
and are
money,
even sold in
7-year-old
some
kids.
states where cannabis is not legal recreationally, because in those states, the specific strain of THC in some of the drinks comes from hemp instead of marijuana.
Right.
The reason why these products are available are because of the farm bill.
Kate Stevenson
Right.
is an industry
It's a
analyst from the
loophole right
Brightfield
now.
Group and says the 2018 Farm Bill made it legal for a certain type of THC known as Delta 9 to be synthesized from hemp. Since then, there's been an explosion in beverage sales, reaching
No, but Delta 9, oh yeah, Delta 9
$382
THC.
million
Not Delta
this year
8 though.
and growing.
They're projected to grow
Delta 9 THC is just decarb THC. That's this Delta 9.
14% over the next 5 years.
She says those numbers would be higher, but almost a dozen states have now banned intoxicating THC synthesized.
Pancakes and bacon. No one has commented on my hair, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Daniel Moon is a real genius. He does Kristen Stewart's hair. So I got like really lucky, like he's a friend of a friend, and so that's why, he does my hair.
From hemp. Governor Newsom authorized an emergency ban earlier this year because a loophole in the law allowed for gummies and other products to be sold outside of dispensaries at any store.
We don't want to kill the hemp industry. We want the hemp industry to be regulated.
See?
It's intended
See?
not for intoxicating products.
The THC at the Artistry Studio Lounge doesn't come from hemp. So here, those
No, 'cause
21 and older can enjoy.
The Artistry is they are a cannabis dispensary and they have on-site consumption in West Hollywood. So they're taking like dosed beverage mixers, right? And then they can make these cocktails at their lounge because it's been lab tested. I think if someone wanted to be really litigious, they they could say like it's manufacturing on site because they're altering the state of the edible, but
enjoy cannabis in a cocktail.
Vapes and gummies are still the most popular category for THC.
Thank
but by
you,
next
Doug.
year, drinks and cocktails are predicted to make up nearly 15% of sales.
Wow.
That's equivalent to $571 million.
Wow.
So it is a big industry, and I think here in California, we're going to see more and more of these popping
Wow.
up, obviously in states where it's legal, but in states where marijuana is not legal, they can still
Marijuana.
get the THC out of hemp, which is, so it's a growing industry.
Wow. Invest
hi.
Yeah, I guess so.
now. Christine, thank
Sorry, I shouldn't make fun of these people. I'm so not nice sometimes. I keep on losing my list. There we go. Okay, Michelle, this is, if you're still here, this is what you wanted to comment on. Don't bite me. No biting. No biting. Go get your toy. Go get a toy. Let me get her lamb. I'll get her sloth. Okay. Go get it. Okay. I can entertain her for a little bit. Okay, let me put in this. Is this what I wanted to go to? Yes. Here we go. Baby.
Today on Forbes, with the failure
Oh,
of
wait.
Florida's
No way. Forbes is going to get me in big trouble. No way. No way. Look at me. Just chest openings. No. Florida failure. Amendment 3. I'm not doing Forbes. They're going to get me in trouble. They're going to get this thing shut down. Maybe this one will be fine. Okay, I just feel like this voter threshold thing is kind of fucked
Now, that
up.
marijuana amendment has been one of the
Marijuana.
most controversial on that list. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest joins us.
Okay, wait. Attack the lamb. She likes the sloth, Steve. She loves the sloth. Put child to bed. Are we on about 3 yet? We're about to do 3 right now. Is the high the same pancakes and bacon for the hemp THC? I don't know. I haven't tried them. So I think what we need to do next is we need to try them. I'm going to roll another joint in my lap while we watch this. Okay. Oh, wait. I have a THC beverage. Should I have one of those? Let me grab it. And put it down here. Let me get some ice. Look, I have something. Let's have this together. Let me get my dog a treat so she leaves us alone a little bit. All right, sorry about that. Whoops. Almost fell over. Didn't quite fall over. Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry. Okay. Michelle, what's going on? So majority did vote yes on 3, but we did not meet the 60% requirement. That's what I was talking about. This requirement. It is unfair. It's not fair. So majority of people want this and then they don't do it. How stupid. Anyway, sorry about that, Michelle. What a fucking bummer. Anyway, this is Voila. I'm not sponsored by them, but I want to try this. It's 10 milligrams of THC and 5 milligrams of CBD. Ooh, hello. That's a cute opener. Smells like watermelon. How the fuck do I do this? Sorry, excuse my language. Oh wait, it tells me. Pull, slide. Okay. Ooh, so then I slide it back. Okay, and then I'm gonna pour it. It's clear. Do you guys mind if I go get a straw? I'm gonna go get a straw. Ooh. I'm gonna get a straw. 1 second. I'm gonna get a straw. Keep getting up. Okay, I'm back. All right, why would you want to? I want to leave. Oh no, this is getting sad. Michelle. Yes, I know. So that was one of the things one of the lawyers on Twitter had brought up. This is a watermelon. This is a watermelon. It's mineral water. No, I don't think there's any sugar. I don't know how they did this. I'll let you know what it feels like. This is like people with a lot of money to do science stuff. As far as like home edible makers, like making a seltzer water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 worries. Ooh, that does taste good. Okay. Somewhere in Europe, no. Michelle, stay with us. What are you doing, Bonbon? Oh, she's hiding her treat. She doesn't want it.
It's now live with the latest on that one. Mike.
Look at Mike.
Amendment 3 that would have legalized marijuana for recreational use here in Florida.
Marijuana
has also gone down in defeat. That means here in the state, nothing changes. It stays the way exactly it was before, which is that only folks with prescription for medical marijuana can get marijuana products legally from dispensaries like this True Leave here in Orlando. Speaking of True Leave, that corporation spearheaded Amendment 3, spending nearly $125 million getting it on the ballot and promoting it. Now, critics claim that the amendment was simply a money grab for the existing marijuana industry. They pointed out that Floridians would not have been allowed to grow marijuana at home. Governor Ron DeSantis spent taxpayer money on advertisements highlighting potential public safety concerns with legalizing weed, while also raising concerns about people smoking marijuana in public. By failing to reach that 60% voter threshold, Amendment 3 has gone up in smoke. Matt and Ginger.
Oh my God! Did you hear what he did there? Amendment 3 has gone up in smoke. Anyway, good one. Good one, man, Mike. Good one, Mike. Mike, pancakes and bacon said Mike looks like a party guy. Jen Johnson says True Leave is the Walmart of cannabis. That's hilarious. Anyway, they tried, right? And part of what the issue was with 3 was that for home grows, you couldn't home grow. You still couldn't grow at home. Now, Florida doesn't allow you to grow at home now, too, with medical. But they would have been the only state to legalize recreationally without having some sort of program for home growers. At least medically. Winslow brought me some oranges. They're so tart. Smoke Steve. Woo! I'm reading these comments. Mike has a frat guy thing going on. Keg stands me. Let's not be mean to Mike, okay? Look at his tie. He doesn't need us to be mean to him. Okay. I'm closing my eye because like this sour.
One more ballot measure getting the green light in Dallas. Marijuana reform. Some 66% of voters passing Prop R last night.
Marijuana. They always say that. It's so funny to me.
Dallas voters made it very clear during this election the majority of them wanted to decriminalize marijuana, at least in smaller amounts. And our Bo Evans is showing us how the issue will look moving forward.
This music's making me nervous.
Leave black and brown folks into jail for nonviolent misdemeanor crimes, just such as possession.
Right.
Natalie Marquez hopes that soon getting caught with pot won't be an issue for anyone. That's because more than two-thirds of Dallas voters passed Prop R Tuesday night.
Prop
Once
R.
it goes into effect, certain amounts of pot possession will be decriminalized.
Good. Ooh, that orange was so yummy.
Specifically protect people from receiving.
That's my favorite thing. If I'm ever like smoking a lot, just like a really tart little, that wasn't an orange, it was like a clementine or a tangerine. I don't know what it was, from a tree here in Los Angeles, but it was delicious is what it was. It just like clears your throat. Oh, and it wakes you up, that citrus.
Giving a citation or a ticket for 4 ounces and under. It'll stop police as using smell as probable cause of search and seizure.
Oh, that's good.
Former Dallas top cop Eddie Garcia came out against the measure during the summer.
Of course he did.
This isn't exactly personal use, one-time personal use. In my opinion, 4 ounces is not a small amount or for personal use.
No one is selling with 4 ounces. No one is selling with 4 ounces. And if they are, it's like with their 3 friends and they're buying it together so they can split it and get a bigger deal because you freaking narcs down at the courthouse need to stop getting people in trouble for smoking a plant. 4 ounces. This isn't for personal use. Clearly you don't smoke pot, buddy. Clearly. And if it's illegal, you want to buy it in bulk because you don't want to have to keep going to your plug all the time.
Natalie says that's not an accurate description.
Nobody tells people that a bulk of toilet paper from Sam's Club is not personal use.
Thank you, Natalie.
While she wouldn't say
You
if there
hear
were any
her?
direct plans to
She was like, well, how much do you poop, cop? Because you're full of shit.
take this effort statewide, Natalie was
Natalie.
We are the largest
Natalie.
now to decriminalize
Natalie's invited to dinner.
misdemeanor possession. I think this is a good sign that the state is going to want to move in this direction as well.
Great.
In Dallas, Bo Evans.
Wouldn't that be
CBS News, Texas.
wild?
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. A spokesperson for Prop R says that once the election results are certified, the new Prop R results would go into effect immediately.
Wow, that's awesome. That is really great. Good news, Dallas. It's a little bit of silver
Dallas
lining.
is now the largest city in Texas.
Okay, calm down. We don't need to go to other. Hi, Travis. Stopping through to show some love. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hang out a little while. I'm just rolling up some pink guava. And I'm sipping on this Voila watermelon mineral water with 10 milligrams and 5 milligrams of CBD. It's delightful, refreshing, and just hanging out. We're going to look at some turkey. You'll never go back to your old turkey method after this. You ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? What are you all doing for Thanksgiving? What's your plans? Let's hear about
You want
it.
to start with one giant bird. Not you, this giant bird. Now,
You
in
do?
all my previous years of turkey cooking, I would always go for a wet brine / air dry situation. However, that process takes literally 3 to 5 days to pull off. This year, I'm
Wow.
going to show you how to make the fastest turkey ever while still
Oh, you wanna
retaining
see
a ton of
this?
flavor and juiciness. To do this successfully, we're going to start by breaking down this turkey into its sections, which will give us complete control over
Okay.
the doneness
I have
of the
to put my
white meat
phone
versus
back.
the dark meat. Let me show you how it's done. You're going to want a sharp knife, and I would always recommend you use one of these
Hi,
microfiber
Simon,
towels so
from
we can get a really
Canada.
good grip on that turkey without it sliding around. And I'm going to start by flipping.
Hi, Simon from Canada. Okay, pancakes and bacon. I'm going to set up my phone again. I've got to put the NDI on. I was answering questions. There's like a little, let's see. Okay. I think that's good. let me see if I can fit it all here. Hi, Bonbon. There we go. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so this guy's like doing this turkey thing. We'll put me here, okay? We'll go like that. And I'll put this like this. Try not to make a mess. All I'm doing is hoping my kids aren't sick for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I hope not. Cooking the bird for the fam this year. Wow, JL Sanders, that's cool. 5 milligrams. Yes, I've got 5 milligrams in this beverage. It's nice. All right, where'd this video go? Here he is. Bonbon, I don't have any treats for you right now. You just need to chill. Do you see her? Look at her in the back being bossy. Hi, you don't, go get your sloth. Go get it. Okay, let's see what this guy's gonna do, and I'm gonna roll
Flipping
this
it on its
up.
side and working on this wing here first. Really easy, right? You're just finding the joints when you're breaking down a bird. Same goes for a chicken, other small poultry, and I'm gonna slice around this joint like so. When you get a couple slices in, this is where the microfiber towel comes in handy. You wanna just break the joint like that. You'll hear it, right? And from there,
I'm sorry. I personally would not use a microfiber towel. I don't see why you need to. Oh, did you bring me your sloth? I'm sorry. Go get it, Bonbon. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to multitask
really
here.
To just slice out like that. Again,
I'm a mom.
Slicing around. You can use a little bit of force, especially on a turkey.
I guess it's like a big bird.
Right there is the joint, right? Here's the other side of it. You're just slicing right through there.
In between.
Like this.
And that's a
and
boning
it's out.
knife.
And there's your wing. I can't stress how important it is just to keep everything really dry when you're doing this. If the handle of your knife gets slippery with all those turkey juices,
because it's
dry
like,
it off.
yeah,
Flip
the
it back
turkey
over.
juices
Most
are slippery.
turkeys hopefully come with the giblets inside. Giblets,
Yeah.
giblets, all the organs
And the neck.
such.
That's
And
the neck.
is key. We're going to be using this to make our stock and gravy, so save it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this turkey doesn't have the rest of the organs, which, oh well. The neck
What a
to me is
bummer.
most important. Now, usually I would leave this.
I fucking hate that. That's like a new trend. We hear you, Bonbon. We hear you. That's a new trend, is like they don't put the neck and the giblets and the liver and all of that and the heart. I want all of that, especially with like chicken. I'll give that to Bonbon. Bonbon loves it. Anyway, I ain't about snatching on birds' joints and all of that. I have a feeling he's gonna, I'm gonna try and get closer to this microphone. Sorry. I have a feeling he is gonna cook it in the oven, but I don't know.
When I'm cooking a turkey, the little butt or the post
Hi,
nose,
Bonbon.
there's a lot of names for it. But since it was falling off, I'm just gonna use it for the stock. Now, for the legs, I'm gonna pick it up, real firm grip on the leg here. I'm just gonna slice first right here. And you wanna make a slice
Along
right
there.
the back, like this, all the way around. So like this, and just keep
And
pulling away and slice.
And right here, that's, at least in a chicken, that's where the oysters are, and that's like the most tendery. That's the most tender part of it.
In. Now, same
gonna
deal
spatchcock
as the
it.
wing. We're just gonna push
Yeah.
it back and snap. That one was way easier. You can see the joint right here, right?
Yeah.
Boom. All you're gonna do
Boom.
is just slice through. It really is
Boom.
that easy. There's nothing to it.
Boom.
And there's the leg. Can't recommend these microfiber towels enough. I'll put a link to these ones in the description. I'll use them all the time. They're cheap too. If I get one really gross with, cutting up a bunch of chickens or something, I'll just trash it afterwards.
I guess it
And
gives you more
all the time.
traction.
You're just making those cuts there as a guideline. It's really about doing all those
More
snaps,
grip,
right? And you can
so
see
it
that
doesn't
joint right
slip.
there. Nice and easy. We're just gonna guide our knife around and slice through and leg out. Next step is getting the breast
Chop,
off,
chop,
obviously.
chop.
And you see how it's really unstable now? It's
Wow.
gonna be really hard to take that off without removing the spine. So I don't know if this is what people do. This just makes sense to me. I'm gonna just
Yeah, that
begin
makes sense.
Slicing this out like so.
Take
Wow,
that back
was
off.
Brutal, huh? Can we do the predator thing again? What is the sound he makes?
It is not the sound.
Now that's sitting nicely, just the breastbone here. What you want to do now, before taking out these breasts, to take out the wishbone because it's sitting in there like this. And so if you try to slice out that breast meat right now, your knife is going to catch
hit
on the wishbone, which is going to dull
wishbone.
your knife and make it so you can't get the breast out in one piece too. So what you want to do is pull this. Oh, and surprise, surprise.
They hit it.
The organs. So anyway, just pull back. Now, as you can
Good
see
thing
right
he didn't
here,
cut
boom,
in.
Wishbone, boom,
Wishbone.
Two of them right there. So what I'm going to do is just guide
Boom.
my knife along either side.
Boom.
Both
Oh,
of the
nice.
wishbones right here. There's no
Yeah.
super graceful way to do this. You just need to start
pull it
scraping
out.
along these bones around the top here. Go slow. Try not to cut yourself. And just keep kind of freeing it up. And eventually, you should be able to just get in here with your fingers. Oh, you might get it out in pieces. That's okay. The most important thing is that you get it out.
Get it
anyway.
out.
Here, it's going to be a little bit harder than a chicken bone.
It's a
I'll
little
spin
messy.
it a little bit. And there it is. It's out. I just had a break right there, but I make sure to get it all out. No problem. From here, we want to locate that breastbone. It's just the bone that runs along the middle here, and we're just going to slice along one side of it.
This is a
all the
lot
way
of
down,
work.
like so. Now, as you can see, my knife can go all the way here.
Hi,
on this end, 'cause
Marvin.
There's no wishbone there anymore. And from there, I'll
Welcome
just
to
guide
the
it
live
underneath,
club
boom.
sesh.
I mean, it just comes right
Just
out,
rolling
right?
up
Look at
another
that.
joint.
Just wants to come out now that that wishbone is gone. From here, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. I obviously don't need all this fat, although I'll save all that fat. Any little trimmings is going in the stock, right? So never throw any of that stuff away. Slice along the other side. Just try to get as close to the bone as possible. That's all you want to do. And there you have it, your breasts, your thighs, your drumsticks, and your wings. I'm going to take these wing tips off, actually. Same deal. Just kind of break it, find that joint. One's giving me a little trouble. There we go. Oh my God, that was so much harder.
Okay.
Just edit that up, make it sick. The little wingtips are going to do better in your stock. They got a ton of gelatin in there. Well, collagen that will turn into gelatin.
That
now, you
dude
don't
can
have to do
cook.
this next part, but with the rest of my bits, I'm just going to chop them up
I-
a little bit.
yeah.
Again, it's not totally necessary.
My
and
mom
it
is
can get a little
cooking
bit
this
messy.
year.
The neck I'll leave whole. Just going to give us a little bit more
That's
browning.
hilarious. Surely the meat will be dry no matter what she's cooking. That's funny. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making this a little smaller. We don't need to see all this shit. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, so what now? Let's see. Oh, wait, he's still doing it. This is taking too long.
Rich turkey stock. I want it to be deep brown. This is the
Okay, so
holidays,
he's gonna
guys.
roast all
Time
of
for the
that.
rich food. Literally gonna make your whole holiday meal right into a 400-degree
400.
a little bit more evenly.
Okay,
Oh,
so
ooh. Also,
cook
at this
that all
point, I'm just
down.
putting in 2 little halved onions and then turn them over so they're cut side down. Those are just going to brown up as well and give our
This is
stock
so
more
much
flavor.
work.
And I roasted
Does
it for
anyone not
another
wanna do
30
any
minutes.
of
Again, it could be
this?
faster if you have a convection oven, but this is what I'm talking about in terms of browning. This is going to give so much flavor to your stock. It is definitely worth taking the extra time. All right, here we go. Let's start making this stock. Dump it all into a big pot. Smells like Thanksgiving in here already. It really does. There's the little butt. In with its butt. Now you can just go ahead and get rid of the sheet.
Okay, he's
pan.
gonna make a stock.
It was a joke. Did I get you? Did
And
I
then
get
like
you? Don't ever do
what?
that. Look up.
He's making stock.
Just top it off with water. all the way
Water.
up to the top.
See,
And I'm
put
gonna
all that
keep
shit
this
in
really
there.
simple,
Put some
peeled
carrots in.
I like leaving them in big chunks so they don't overcook too fast. Some thyme, little sprigs of thyme, about 20 peppercorns, and that is literally all I'm putting in here. I don't do celery, I don't do bay leaf. I don't really like those flavors when they're cooked in a stock for a long time. I do like celery sometimes in certain preparations, but not in stock. So let's set this over just low to medium heat.
Really, I love celery. I would put it in
simmer
stock,
away.
and I would
rosemary
put
salt.
bay.
Start with coarse kosher salt.
Okay.
Use another salt if you like. I just always use this one for it. And it's going straight into a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you could use a blender. And all we need to do is strip some rosemary off the stem, just like this. Throw it in. If there's one thing you should take home from this video, it's the rosemary salt. Even if you don't cook the turkey and the gravy from this video, please make the rosemary salt and use it in your Thanksgiving and holiday cooking.
Okay,
and
we
you are gonna
will.
be amazed at the results. It really just smells. and
D-Money
tastes like the
wants
holidays.
me to
Next,
make-
We're putting in a little bit of sage.
Next is Vanessa cannabis infused rice pilaf. That sounds really good. Marvin, I didn't even do a turkey last year. I was orphaned and alone. I'm sorry. Sometimes it sucks to be alone. You can infuse the salt? No, because the salt isn't going to end up in the turkey.
Pick these leaves off
I
the
think
stem. That holiday
it's just
flavor.
to.
It's that
I think he's just going to use this to brine the turkey, right?
stuffing flavor. A couple cloves of peeled garlic, and finally.
Or is
a little
he
bit of
using
lemon
it
zest to
throughout?
brighten things up. you don't have yourself a microplane yet, you should definitely get
If he's keeping this in it all, like say it goes into the gravy or something, I have a feeling he's going to rub the turkey in it.
I'll put a link for this in the description. Kind of a must-have if you ask me.
Yeah,
Straight
so
in.
he's
I always
seasoning
kinda
the
show off
turkey
my
with it.
zesting skills. I can't help it. Look at that. Almighty zester. And we're going to start by pulsing it.
Basically, if you do that, then yeah, everyone's going to get high. You got to plan for everyone wanting to be stoned because you couldn't guarantee that if you're going to make gravy from the drippings, then it's going to be in the drippings. So, and it'll be on the turkey as well.
Just a little bit, and then let it roll. Just about a minute of blending. As you can see, it retains a little bit of that coarse structure from the salt, and it's moist. It feels sort of like damp sand, but it doesn't like clump up. See, I can't clump it, which you don't really want. You want to be able to spread it out nicely like
You could just take weed, decarbed weed.
5 minutes to make, and then you get months of
Eddie's
enjoyment
clearly
out of it. It
seen
will
this
last for
before.
months in your fridge, although I try to use it up within about 3 weeks for optimal freshness. Airtight container, keep it in the fridge. That'll keep it fresher for longer. So I'm going to start salting my turkey, and look, I'm going to do these for an hour or even less because this is the fast turkey version. If you want to do this the day before, give it a full 24 hours or 12 hours of dry brining.
Of sitting in it.
But I am absolutely confident I'm going to get perfectly juicy, amazing turkey in just a few hours, right? Including...
Wait, why is... Sorry, my studio is giving me... YouTube is not responding. I just want to... is not receiving enough video? As such, viewers will experience buffering. Stream status, poor. Weird. Okay, I don't know why. We're gonna ignore it, okay? And just hope it's... Maybe I need better internet. Pancakes with THC butter. If you infuse something, make it a side and then people can opt in or opt out. I totally agree, Marvin. I totally agree.
Roasting.
Or like,
pretty
you could make 2 different gravies. You can make one gravy that's got pot in it and one gravy that doesn't. You see some latency. Okay. I wonder what that's about. I wonder if I have like... It was doing so well before. What happened? Huh. Maybe it's the... Maybe it's the bit... I'm going to take it to this. Let's see if this helps. Sometimes I freeze. Let me know if that's any better. I don't know. Maybe I need better internet to stream. Okay. We're going to keep going.
And do the same side here on the skin. There we go. This looks good. I'm going to put these in the fridge for just 1 hour. So
okay.
Let's cook this turkey, my friends. And the first thing I'm going to do is separate it onto 2 sheet pans instead of 1. We want it to have room to breathe, definitely. I think I'll do my wings over here with the thighs and the legs. Everything's got some
so they don't
room.
steam.
And all I'm going to do is just dab up a little bit of...
You give them space so that they don't steam. You know, like you want to space it out so that the heat hits them all around.
That excess moisture from
okay, cool. We're going to keep going.
And then I'm also just going to spray with a tiny little bit of oil just to help that skin start the browning process. You don't need a lot.
Okay.
Really just help it start it. Let me tell you something here. If you're a serious home cook, you definitely need a great wireless thermometer, and especially around the holidays with all the turkeys, all the roasts, all the proteins you're going to be cooking in the oven. Having one of these is essential. And I'm honestly very proud.
I think like gravy is sad if it is like Thanksgiving gravy anyway. It always depends on the gravy you're making, but I feel like it's sad if it doesn't have a lot of like color to it. Like if it's super pale looking, I'm kind of like I don't know. I like a real rich gravy.
To have Typher sink as a...
And if it breaks, that's a sad gravy. You ever have a gravy that breaks?
sponsor of this video because this thing is awesome. I am literally in love with it. And what sets the Typhus Sync apart from the rest of the thermometers on the market is definitely the dual probe system. The probes are clearly labeled.
Okay, commercial probes.
And once the meat has been cooking in the oven for a little bit, it's going to do some math and tell you exactly how long it's going to be
That's
before
cool.
it's done. Another cool feature of the Typhus Sync is you have this incredible display.
That would be cool to put those probes while you're decarbing.
Well as the app. Seems like with most thermometers these
Okay,
days,
so look
you
at-
know what? I might not even sear them because that skin looks really, really good. We'll definitely want to get these off onto a resting rack so they don't overcook on that hot tray. On another note, with that sheet pan, here's what you want to do. I'll just take a little bit of my turkey stock that's been simmering away.
Yeah.
Pop it on here. A couple little ladles. Again, just scrape it off. Oh my god. I just love scraping sheet pans, man. Give
You
me
look-
give
you
me
like a
sheet pan, I'll
chunky
scrape that thing
gravy?
for ya. Dump all that flavor and goodness back into your
I don't know if I like a chunky gravy. I like all gravy. Most gravy.
stock.
Just not split gravy.
Oh, scrapey, scrapey. Get my stock back on the simmer. I also pulled out the wings at the same time as my breasts. Just
Okay.
35 minutes. They look nice and golden brown and delicious. Let them rest a little bit and they'll be good to go. And there we go. Our thighs just hit 180 degrees internal, which happened after about an hour and 7 minutes.
But
Up
you
they come.
can you watch
Woo!
Vanessa's stream
And
on
same
that
deal with our
thing?
thighs and legs.
You mean like on this, what we're watching on? Could we watch me?
Take them off. Let them rest.
His gravy a little
oh,
thin.
Oh.
JL Sanders, that's just his stock. He's just got his stock. He was adding that flavor back into his stock. And then he'll use that to make, I'm assuming, to make a gravy.
Oh, there's actually enough juice in this tray for me to probably just scrape without getting some extra water in here. And honestly, I didn't even re-crisp the skin because it's just perfect right now anyway. So let's slice in and see how this looks. It's definitely got a nice glisten to it. It looks pretty juicy to me. Pulled at 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's give it a test. All right, Marcus, pulled at 145. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, look at the way it pulls apart. Honestly, I think that's just as juicy as any brine turkey I've ever had.
It's great.
There's some huge difference, you know? That meat just like pulls apart. That's good turkey. Now think about this, just an
Good
hour of
turkey.
salting and a little over
It's
an
hard to
hour of
make good
roasting in the
turkey.
oven. That frees up your oven on Thanksgiving Day from all that turkey time.
But that's
Even
not
more
enough
space for getting
turkey.
all your side dishes done, and trust me, you want that extra time, and there really is like, this is better than a whole turkey. There's no reason not to do this. My turkey stock's been going for 2.5 hours, a little more. Nice and done. I'm gonna go ahead and run it through. a
See,
strainer,
but people
skim it
like
off.
the
Now there's-
spectacle. You know? People like to pull out a massive turkey whole from the oven. That's what they like to do. And sometimes it's got stuffing in it, and sometimes it doesn't. But that's what people like to do.
One thing I want you to save right now, and it's the turkey neck. I love putting
Yes.
this in the gravy. I'll show you what I do.
Duh,
with
turkey neck
I'm just
gravy.
gonna let this drip for about 10 minutes. I don't
Boom.
want to try to force
Should we make
anything
gravy?
through, actually,
Should we make
because I'm
infused
afraid I'll push
gravy?
those carrots through. Now with my neck here, here's what I do. It's a little bit of work, but if you ask me, totally
This looks
worth it.
good.
You're gonna break them into their individual little vertebrae. and
JL
then just
Sanders
rip
needs
off the
3.
meat. Doesn't take too long, and we're essentially picking all those little pieces clean and then discarding the bone. And from here, what I do is just chop up the neck meat. By the way, if you've never just tried turkey neck meat, it's got so much
Yum.
flavor. It's the rib of the turkey. There we go, something like that. Set that aside for
The
now.
rib?
Last but certainly not least, let's make our gravy. Starting
Guess
with
that makes
unsalted
sense.
butter. Now, as I'm making this pre-Thanksgiving, I'm not going to make a ton of gravy. However,
Look
if
at
you are
that. So
feeding
he's
like
going to
8 to
make
10
a
people, you may
roux.
want
He makes a roux.
to double this recipe that will be located down.
So we could put weed butter right here. Okay? You could do one with weed butter, one without. Just make sure you label it and let people know.
In the description. Once that butter is melted, put in your flour. We're just building a really basic roux. Work that in. It should look like this sort of wet sand type consistency like you see here. And just like for any good roux, you need to let this cook. You need to cook off all that
Yeah.
flour taste. So
I
keep
let
an
it
eye on
go.
You want to stir it pretty frequently. The heat's around medium low. Now I've been cooking my roux for about 15
There,
minutes.
like that,
And it's
like
almost
that.
the same color as the stock. That's
You
what-
see how nice and brown that is? When I say that a gravy is too pale, it's because people will add the stock at this point, or maybe even just a little bit after, but you kind of like, you don't take it as dark as for like what's that the southern dish that uses a very dark roux. Anyway, But you gotta get some color on it. You can't put it. It's got
Same
some
color as
flavor.
the stock. That's what I'm going.
You want it flavored. Cook the flour.
Going for. You could go darker, but this is fine. Smell.
And the butter.
And now, little by little, we're gonna begin adding in our turkey stock. Never
Yep,
wanna put in too much at once. Drop it in.
Beautiful.
Once it's all seasoned
Wow.
up, add some more stock.
Yep.
When I say go little by little, really work it
Yep.
in between additions.
Because then it'll
like
be
this. You don't wanna
smooth.
end up with some kind of lumpy gravy.
This is how
I
you
love
get.
gravy.
This is how you get a smooth gravy. Working it in little by little.
Oh yeah. this is
Gumbo,
great.
thank you.
Just keep
Thank
working
you,
in that
Anemwa.
stock little by little. It's gonna be really thick at first. but
And
it's gonna thin
D-Money.
out as you keep adding more stock. It's starting to look really good. now.
Wavy
Although I don't
gravy,
like my gravy
pancakes
really
and
thick.
bacon. I
want
love
mine
that.
thin. Personal preference. If you like it thicker, add less stock. At this point, Sergeant Gilbert reporting for duty, my friend. Black
That's a
pepper.
nice
I like a lot of
pepper
black
mill,
pepper in my
man.
Gravy. Pretty finely ground.
Fuck.
Now we're gonna bring
I want
this
one
up
of
to the taste
those.
with a couple seasonings, but before we do that, let's test it. It already tastes pretty good. After we're done with it, it's gonna taste amazing. More stock. The first thing
Wow.
I'm putting with is rosemary salt. A little bit of this right before you finish it for that freshness is just so freaking good. And the next ingredient is a secret family recipe of mine.
Okay,
It's
that makes
Marmite, a
sense.
yeast extract. It may
Yeah.
seem weird to you, but I'm telling you, this stuff makes it
That
taste
makes sense.
amazing. It gives it this punch. It's so good, but it's really strong, right? So I'm just starting with one.
Cause like it'll give it kind of a like a umami, like a weird kind of like a like what's that, you know? And that's nice. You want your brain
Teaspoon.
to
Go ahead
go.
and work-
Sometimes you want your brain to go like, what's that?
Work that in. All right, 1 teaspoon of Marmite in and a little rosemary salt. Oh, now
Gumbo
it's starting to taste like the gravy I know
étouffée.
and love. Another little
Étouffée. I love étouffée. It's so good. It's so delicate.
pinch of rosemary salt,
Mm.
and another little
Mm.
teaspoon of Marmite. You always want to season things little
I'm
by little,
hungry.
right? For me, this is a nice consistency of the gravy. I wouldn't want it any thicker.
No, that looks perfect.
That's the stuff. That is the ticket right there. That's money. Yo, drop in
Money.
the comments if you know who this is. This is
Money.
impressive. That's money, dude. That's money, dude. That's
I don't know.
money, dude. And the final
I
ingredient.
don't know.
the
Do
turkey
you guys
wing.
know?
Oh my
I don't
God.
know who that
Something about
was.
a meat gravy with chunks of meat, and it's just gonna add that little
Yeah.
bit of extra flavor. Turkey neck gravy. Mm.
Yum.
Oh yeah, get it down. Ooh,
Yeah, do a
that's
dance.
homey. Oh, that's home.
Look at that dance.
That's my hometown.
Boys are so
Turkey
funny.
gravy. Throw your neck in it. Throw your
Munchies.
neck in it.
Yeah, Marmite
Neck
is.
in. Neck in.
I would do a Marmite. That's a cool little tip. I am so hungry. Ugh, what am I gonna eat? I'm starving. Okay. Well, you know, wait, I wanted to see the rest of his turkey.
Turkey to serve on Thanksgiving. Here's what I would do. I would slice up my breast, put it on a sheet pan like this, pull all the meat off your thighs. I don't know if you want to leave the legs whole or pull the meat off those as well. You could do either. Set everything on this tray, put your wings on this tray, put 1/3 of a cup of stock in the bottom of the tray, and then cover it with foil. Then simply just throw it into a 400-degree oven for like, I don't know, 7-8 minutes just to warm it up. Take off the foil, put it on a tray if you want, and then just serve it. But we're just gonna go ahead and eat ours right now, so I'm gonna plate it up with some gravy, and let's give it a taste.
I like this music. Wow, that's sexy. I would serve that for Thanksgiving. Like 3 of those. It's like Downton Abbey music. Wow. Very sexual.
Dude,
Turkey time.
You want a leg? You want this? Do you like this?
It's always been too much of a weapon for me.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking like just take a swim.
That's
but,
like
you know,
Disneyland,
Go swim.
those
we can take a
turkey
swim, although-
legs.
Wing swim.
All right, dude. Wing, nice. Good call. I think I'm going for a thigh.
That looks
I
so
was going
good.
to rip into it.
Just rip into it. Let's go savage rip into it. Dunkarooskies.
Okay, so we need to make wavy gravy. No! I hate it. I hate it.
Oh, there's a thigh meat right here.
We're filming. I don't know how long it's been. This thing's still crunchy.
By the way, thighs, super juicy. Really good. I honestly don't
Did
think I
wait,
wanna
did
cook
he
a
put
whole
the
turkey
bone
like
in
that
the
so
gravy?
fast. People stress out, you know, during Thanksgiving time because of the turkey, because of the oven space it takes up. People keep opening the door every 2 seconds. It takes like twice as long. Then you're trying to cook all this other stuff and you have no oven space.
True.
It takes 1 hour. to
True.
cook
People who say they
Didn't
don't
take 1
like
hour,
turkey
but yeah.
haven't had this turkey.
Make it like this, dude. Don't tell me you don't like turkey.
Tell us.
Tom.
Tell us.
Mhm.
You won't.
Listen, Tom, Tom. This is your message to actually make the turkey good this year, man. So do it. And now you do a random name too.
All right.
Say, listen, you know.
Bartholomew.
No, do like a common name. We
Oh,
get a
okay.
bunch of people.
Hey, Mike. Make
Already
it
done
like
Mike.
the,
Already done Mike
what's it?
recently.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Garnful. Woo!
Ooh. Try dipping the wing in the gravy. What are you guys cooking?
They're definitely
Birdman,
double
you're
dipping.
So annoying. We're not cooking anything. We're not doing anything. We're not eating anything. Go away. Go back to your nest or whatever. All right. I'm gonna go. All right. Thanks again to Typher for sponsoring this video, and don't forget.
Cute. Okay. Well. Okay, everybody. Mission accomplished. Does anyone have any questions? We went through all of the topics this evening. We watched a bunch of videos. I answered a bunch of questions from my Instagram. D Money Green made clam chowder with infused with bacon. That sounds amazing. I love chowder. I think we need to make a wavy gravy. I love that name. I'm sufficiently stoned. I probably had like a few milligrams from this drink. I didn't really finish the whole thing. It's delightful. And, you know, so what are you making to go with the wavy gravy? Should we do it Saturday? Should we make wavy gravy Saturday and we do stuffing? Should we do a stuffing? What do you think? Uninfused, infused. What do you all think? I'm almost done this joint. Occult 45 says, let's do stuffing and wavy gravy. Perky turkey? What's perky turkey? I don't know what perky turkey is, but we're going to make stuffing. Okay, tell me if this is too much. Can you just buy a turkey breast and roast that? Yeah, here's what I'll do. I'm going to do a singles turkey. Like if you were to make Thanksgiving dinner just for yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I'll do. I'll do a little turkey. I'll do a little gravy. I'll do a little potato. I'll do a little stuffing. And I'll do maybe a little green bean casserole. And that's what we will do, okay? And if you want to support my efforts, and if you love me, and you've had a good time on this here live stream, let me get this for you. Oops. I want you all, if you haven't joined yet, we have a chat. Will everyone who's in the club tell the people who are not in the club how cool the Patreon, the Edibles Club is? Because sometimes I feel like it's hard to, we're going to have a Friendsgiving this Saturday, okay? We're going to have a fried Friendsgiving this Saturday. And if you want, does this link to it? What's that C? If you want to, and you want to be a part of like deciding what happens with the stuffing, I know everyone's going to have an opinion about stuffing. What kind of stuffing I make? Are we making sweet potatoes? Are we not? I might have to invite a friend over to help me cook. Join the Patreon, the Edibles Club. I have a group chat there. I post my long form videos there. That's where all the latest news happens. If I have any exciting news, it'll drop there first. And I have a lot of things in the works. So that's where all the behind the scenes happens. It happens in my Patreon. Because everywhere else, I have to be a little bit kind of cautious. Like, obviously, we're hanging out here, but hopefully, like, you know, I age restrict everything. So, but you can vote on recipes. You can ask me questions. All of these questions that I answered tonight, I can go deeper into them when you join the club because that's where I hang out. So I dropped the link, cookbook link, all of the links. We watched videos. I need to eat some dinner. My dog is sleeping. She tired herself out. I think this drink is kind of hitting me. And Pancakes and Bacon is finally joining. Yes, join. I mean, and basically these live streams have been open to the public because the cookbook is coming out and I want people to know what we're doing and to know about the club, and it can't be so exclusive because I'm too tiny to be exclusive. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And I will see you all on Saturday. Have a really good night. I recommend everything that I tried this evening. I feel wonderful. I'm going to end this broadcast on a high note. There's always a silver lining. And as I was always told growing up, remember who you are.